PC Cheers. Logging on. Barry Winslow. What's going on, guys? So I'm sure you guys have not seen enough Record Store Day videos. So I'm gonna do one for you. Why not? I did not participate in any Record Store Day buys. Instead, on Record Store Day, Northern had their record sale. So why not? And since I looked at the list this year, and there was only about one or two that I would even consider getting, and the majority of the time the prices are just stupid. So I was kind of happy that instead of doing Record Store Day, it was a record sale day for Northern, and I filled in some gaps in my collection. So I want to talk about those. A lot of these are debut albums, which I'm really happy about. So the first one that I got is the one playing in the background. I was very excited when I saw this album, and did not hesitate to pick this up right away. Yes's debut, just self-entitled Yes. As you can hear in the background, this album jams. A lot different than their later work. Obviously the original lineup here, you know, when you got Peter Banks on guitar. I know that Tony Kaye left, and who took his place was Rick Wakeman. Obviously Chris Squire's been around. Bruford was around for quite a while, up until about, I think, Close to the Edge was his last album. But love this album, and it's in pretty good condition. And for $5, I couldn't complain. The album was extremely clean, almost near mint on the album. The cover's got a little bit of wear in the coloring here, but very, very happy to have this in the collection. My Yes collection is slowly growing. There are a few vital albums of theirs that I'm missing, that I found, but I haven't either been happy with the condition or the price. So I'm still kind of holding out on that at the moment until I find the right one. But yeah, Yes's debut, self-entitled, and I don't think this one's, I think you can find it, but I don't think it's the easiest thing in the world to find. So I'm really happy to have this in my collection. This next band, everyone knows, and if you don't, you shouldn't be in the vinyl community. Plain and simple. I'm probably going to give this away, but VK, you're going to know and love every single album that I show you right now. Yes, I did not have any of these in my collection. I'm picky with this artist in that, once again, I wasn't happy with the price that this band is usually marked with. So I actually found all of these albums in the section of this guy's table that he had set up, his booth, where they were 1 for $3, 2 for $5, or 3 for $6. So I dug around, and I actually couldn't believe in these 4, 5, 6 boxes, crates, what I had found. So actually this was not part of that box. This was, I found on my own at the record sale. Zeppelin 1. Paid $8 for it. It's in good condition. The sleeve is in actually pretty good condition. The corners are in very good shape. The album itself is pretty good as well. There's a few scuffs, a little bit of surface noise, but overall, I would give it a VG. Very good. So I'm happy to have Zeppelin 1 rock staple in my collection. I cleaned it off and it sounds great. Okay, so then these Zeppelin albums I found in that box that I was talking to you about. This one, sometimes you find Zeppelin 3. This cover with the rotating, as we all know, the rotating cover here, sometimes is beat up. This one is, the cover's in once again, decent condition. These Zeppelin albums that I'm showing you are not any fancy pressings. They're not in perfect condition. Hence, I mean, I picked all of these albums, every one. Now these next 3 albums that I show you from Zeppelin I got for $3 a piece. So you can't expect a Zeppelin album to be perfect for $3. But at the same time, for $3, they're pretty good condition for the amount that I spent. So I'll show you here, just, you know, a little bit of surface noise. There's a few scuffs, but for $3, I went through and I ran it through my cleaner, and a few pops. But I mean, goddamn, I'm not gonna pass up Zeppelin. That's pretty decent for $3. So Zeppelin 3, really happy to have this. I had 2, that's why I skipped on 2, but they had 2 there as well. So, and I mean, we all know these. We all know this, okay? Same thing here. Did not have this in my collection here, thinking, why not? Why not? Because you can find Zeppelin, and it's not impossible to find them, and the majority of the time when you do find them, their prices are just through the roof, right? Well, I figured I'm filling in these gaps, right? Obviously I know every one of these songs, right? Just very happy to have this. Once again, I cleaned this off. This, out of the ones that all of you that I've been showing, this one is actually probably the cleanest album-wise. It's got this right sleeve. So I mean, everything here is intact. There's nothing wrong. Just, I mean, outside of a little bit of surface noise, for $3, I mean, I'm grinning. So very happy to have the Zepp in the collection here at Winslow's Wax Pad. That's all I gotta say. So next one I cleaned as well. Sounds great. Did not have it in my collection for the same reason. Houses. We all know this album. I love this. This image is so cool. I think this is probably one of my favorite gatefold, inner gatefold images. That is so cool. Love it. So this sounds great. I found that the majority of the popping and the surface noise, a little bit, I'm not talking a lot, because if it's a lot, I pull a Robert Z and I'm just like, nope. I don't think I'm quite up to Robert Z's specifications, but I mean, if I'm hearing popcorn, it's out the window. But the majority of a little bit of pop, light pop, and surface noise I can hear in between the tracks, so the dead wax between each track. But with, I mean, obviously when the speakers are playing, everything sounds pretty clean. So very happy to have this as well. This next album I got is from an album that I'm glad is actually motivating some people and sparking some people's interests. Travis Vinyl on Video just did his, I believe it was his Record Store Day video, and he kind of did the same thing. He only got a few albums that were in the Record Store Day list, and the rest of the stuff that he picked up was at like a flea market or what have you, you know. So just regular albums, which is great. I think it's really good to just participate in buying albums from somewhere on Record Store Day. I don't think that falling into the idea where we have to buy from that Record Store Day list. Go out and enjoy the holiday. That's what I say. Have fun doing it and pick up stuff that maybe you were looking for more specifically than the stuff that was on the list anyways. So this album here is interesting. When I opened this, when I saw this album, my heart dropped. Because this album I've been looking for quite some time. And then I was a tad disappointed because the cover is water damaged to a pretty decent extent. So I was thinking, oh, if the cover's water damaged, the vinyl is going to be just junk, right? Not the case. I'm thinking this album must have been water damaged when the vinyl itself was either playing on the table or, I don't know, was separated, because if the vinyl is like very good plus, no kidding. The album itself is kind of flimsy. There's some tears, water damage. So what I'm going to be doing is looking for this album again, and I'm just going to kind of keep this as a backup. So I can kind of, exchange the cover and the vinyl, vice versa, because the vinyl's very clean. But Wishbone Ash's debut, just self-entitled Wishbone Ash. I know Vinyl on Video, Travis, you showed Argus. That's their third album. This is their first. And in between this one and Argus is Pilgrimage, which is another one that you should look out for. Fabulous work there. Argus is great. Wishbone 4 you said you had. I think that's a little bit weaker in my opinion. And then the album after Wishbone 4 is called There's the Rub, 1974, and that's when they changed their guitarist to, one of the guitarists' name is Laurie Wisefield. That album is my favorite in their catalog, followed by Argus. So just dig around in that area, and anything you listen to you're going to be happy with. And this kind of goes for anyone out there. I know Wishbone Ash, when you see the name, you probably know who they are, but they're not terribly popular. They deserve more recognition. They're a great band. So I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about with the album. I'll pull it out and I'll show you the original MCA Rainbow label, which I'm really happy about. But look at this. I don't know if you can kind of see, but it sounds beautiful. I cleaned it up. It was dusty. Clean the dust off. I'm telling you, this thing is gorgeous. So I'm very happy about the album itself. And I mean, when you can find an original press of a debut album of a band like Wishbone Ash, I mean, that's not terribly easy to find. And it's in this good of condition. I was really happy. The downer, though, like I said, the cover has been water damaged. And as you can see, this here, the outer picture on the cardboard has been peeled away. Same back here, which is a huge bummer. And I agree. I mean, I was almost not going to get it. I picked this thing up for 50 cents. The price on it was not 50 cents, and I actually took it out of the sleeve and I showed the guy whose booth it was, and I said, hey, look at this. And I told him how I thought that the vinyl and the sleeve should go together, and he offered me $1. I said, I'll give you 50 cents for it, and he said okay. So, but I mean, to an extent now where it's bending. So I'm really looking to replace this album cover. So good and a bad here, but very happy to have Wishbone Ash self-titled debut in the collection. Love Wishbone Ash. And that's a really cool image there. Wishbone Ash, right? Makes sense. The first band to play the dual guitar. No, Thin Lizzy was not the first band. It was Wishbone Ash, at least in the rock world. The interweaving guitar licks and stuff. It's Wishbone Ash. So I actually found out about him through Lizzy. So, but very happy to have this in the collection. Alright, enough talk about that one. The next one here is another debut. This one's in great condition here, and very happy to find this one as well. It actually goes like this. Uriah Heep, self-titled. Actually, it's called Very Heavy, Very Humble. And I think the I think it's the UK press or the German press actually has a different artwork, and it says Very Heavy, Very Humble on it, where this one here is the American press, and it just says Uriah Heep on the front of it. So I love this album. I played it through a little bit. Their sound changed a little bit through the years. But their debut, this really rocks. There's some really heavy passing chords on this album. Very, very happy with what I'm hearing here. Picked it up. I got this for $4. So, I mean, you can't beat that. There they are. Very, very happy to have this. And I love this image too, the snake figure. So, this album rocks. If you're getting into Uriah Heep, I know some people out there, Maggie, I know that you showed an 80s Uriah Heep album, actually one that I don't have. Check out their early stuff. You might like it. There was a few passing chords in there where I was hearing like a Zeppelin Rolling Stones kind of sound. And I know that they kind of tended to rely more heavily on the organ fills, heavy organ, I guess you could say organ, and like really heavy like mystic vocals, mythical vocals. Really good. I mean, it's Uriah Heep. So, self-titled debut. And I want to save this one for last. This is one of the albums that actually one of the very last albums of this band that I absolutely worship. I did not have this one because I was looking for this press of it. I've seen this album all over the place, but it's on the Mercury label when I find it. This one is on the Vertigo label. This is an UK import, and it's Thin Lizzy's Live and Dangerous double album, considered the greatest live album of all time by many. Yep, I agree. I think this is the greatest live album of all time. It's still got, look at the gloss finish on this. I mean, this thing is damn near mint. There's a little bit, as you can see right there, a little bit of ring wear. And what I love about this is it's got the really thin UK cardboard, and I'm sure those of you who collect foreign presses like myself know that the cardboard that they use, the stock cardboard, is not as heavy. And so I noticed when I picked this thing up, before I even saw the Vertigo label on the back of it, which is right there, I lifted it and went, that's not a US press, I can tell already. So cool. I love this inner sleeve here. And a lot of live shots from the band. But this one here, I don't know if you can see, I think the boys were having a little bit of fun. Doing a little bit of blow. But, God love them. God love them. Really happy to have this. I'm going to pull this out and show you guys the spacecraft logo, Vertigo. Very happy to have this. I'm stoked. So there it is. The Vertigo. It's got that little spacecraft on it. Live and Dangerous. So the album extremely clean. So UK import Vertigo label, Live and Dangerous, and for $15. This was my expensive record store day purchase, since I didn't participate in getting anything off of the list, and I actually wasn't even around any stores that were participating. The closest store for that was like, I don't know, 2 hours away. Being in the UP, everything's kind of a drive, so I said forget that, I'm just going across the street to the to campus. So that's what I found. That was my record store day haul. Some very, very iconic albums here today, and some stuff that basically I was just waiting to fill in, looking for the right price, right condition, right press, you name it. So, but very successful record store day haul, at least for myself. So enjoy, take care, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Peace.